We always start with the best games, and there's no other game to start with than Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, Bills and Chiefs in Orchard Park.
All right, here we go. Game on the line here with the Bills up 2 and 2:27 left. It's a 4th and 2. Here's some late motion. Fakes the throw. Allen going to step up in the pocket. Now he's going to take it and run, and he's got the first down and more. 10, 5, and muscles his way into the end zone for an unbelievable 26-yard touchdown run. Are you kidding me?
We're not kidding you, Chris Brown of WGR. One of the moments of the season, no doubt. Josh Allen comes back to pass. They got a mesh concept. He wasn't planning to run, but he decides to run, and he's bouncing off defenders into the end zone. The Bills get the victory, 30-21 over the Chiefs. This is a rivalry that always delivers. And on Sunday, the Bills delivered the Chiefs their first loss of the entire season. Bills got a chance here to be the 1 seed in the AFC. They are flying right now at 9-2, and the Chiefs, they were bound to lose eventually. I guess you never know. They are at 9-1, and yes, I think that play told us so much about this rivalry, about where these two teams are at in 2024, because Sean McDermott has evolved. In the past, 4th down, 2:27 to go. I don't know if Sean McDermott is going for it in that situation. And it's one thing we've talked about on this show from the very beginning of the season. They've been extremely aggressive on 4th down. And one of the reasons I was so impressed that he went for it in this case is that they failed in a somewhat similar spot in the first half of this game where, in theory, they could have taken points. Meanwhile, they don't really have a good kicker. That's probably informing the decision right there. But he knows you need touchdowns, Patrick, to beat the champs. And he let his best player decide the game, and Josh Allen decided it.
Yeah, 4th and 2 in a high leverage situation. And as you mentioned, the Bills run mesh. They run mesh. They let their generationally talented quarterback in a high leverage play just run something where it's not confusing. Again, we'll talk about another team that did not necessarily do that in a high leverage situation with the game on the line. Not salty at all, but this is the first time it's been 44 games, Greg, since the team has scored 30 points in the regular season against the Kansas City Chiefs. That goes all the way back to week 4 of 2022, and they get it with those, not to say they're relatively simple concepts, but a lot of screens to Khalil Shakir. We saw the Chiefs defense miss more tackles today than I've seen them miss in a very long time. Khalil Shakir was 7 yards after catch. Curtis Samuel was 6 yards after catch. These are average on every single reception. I didn't know if the skill position players with the Bills, with all the injuries, were going to be able to make this a game. They played spectacularly after catch.
They were awesome. Keon Coleman does not play in this game. Dalton Kincaid does not play in this game. And sometimes it is just about your players showing up and playing a bit above where we've seen him. Amari Cooper hasn't been on this team for long. You look and he only has 2 for 55, but they were both really difficult catches at massive points in the game. Cooper leads them to an early touchdown. His other catch was also fantastic. Curtis Samuel has been in mothballs most of the season, made an unreal play on the very first drive of the game that helped lead to a touchdown. That was on a 3rd and 9 where he got again, free from some Chiefs defenders, playing above his skis. He gets a huge touchdown in the 4th quarter. And yes, this Bills team ultimately beat a Chiefs squad, Nick, that I didn't think got a ton of pressure on Josh Allen, that if you really break it down, it was a close game, but if you really break down the line of scrimmage, I thought the Bills won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Their defense and their offensive line both won. They're a little tougher, I think, than maybe previous Bills teams.
It's weird because this rivalry has kind of evolved, much like Sean McDermott has evolved. In previous years, we would think about shootouts. We would think about, explosive plays, tons of points on the board. We saw that in the playoffs. We saw that when they met either in the regular season or the postseason. It's been back and forth affairs. This was not like that. Both these teams have changed. The Chiefs' offensive line is a huge concern for me, which is part of why the Bills found success up front. But Greg Rousseau's having a great year. He causes a pressure that results in a Von Miller sack. The Chiefs have to punt the ball. Whereas, meanwhile, the Bills don't have the same explosive offense, but they still have Josh Allen. And so it's almost like the scales have kind of tip toward even again because both these teams look different. And yet we still get a total of 51 points between these two teams.
Right.
And the Bills still almost melted down in the fourth quarter before Josh Allen essentially salted this one away with that touchdown run.
Right, because the defense has made plays in this game. Patrick Mahomes starts the game with an interception where he panics a little bit, but it was because of a really quick pressure. Josh Allen throws an interception on a fourth down early in this game. That was the fourth down decision I was referring to. Great play by Chamari Connor. There were segments in this game in the middle where the Bills punted a couple times in a row. The Chiefs punted a couple times in a row in the third quarter. So that's why I just love this matchup, because it's got a little bit of everything. But I like how you mentioned those long drives at the end. That's the Chiefs' style, and that's what the Bills did to Kansas City. They showed that they can win in this style. James Cook did not have a great game. They did not run the ball well, but they did get it done in the red zone, and he broke some tackles, and they were able to kind of play like the Chiefs offense and pick you apart. And they will go on 2 drives late in the game, a 10-play, 61-yard drive where they take up 6 minutes of the clock, and then that final one right after Patrick Mahomes makes it 23-21, Patrick. Like, you're just thinking – it was almost like Mahomes needed to be down 9 points in the fourth quarter just to feel alive again. You know what I mean? Like, because that next drive that he had, that was like the best drive I've seen the Chiefs offense have all season. Like, he's making next level type throws. He's on the run. They move fast for once, and they get that touchdown, and you think, oh, here they come. But the Bills just kind of squeeze the life out of it. A huge play by Khalil Shakir on a 3rd and 9, whether it's passing or rushing. Josh Allen is right there with Lamar as the best quarterback in the league, and he proved it in the biggest of spots today.
And also the Bills' offensive line, they lose Deion Dawkins for a couple of plays. They're late. We'll have to check and see long-term if that's a particular issue. But you mentioned that 3rd and 9 to Khalil Shakir. He takes a huge shot on that play from Cook, like on his back hip, is able to get the first down there. Just so many moments where you look and see the Bills make plays like that. And on the other side, Nuke Hopkins had a ball kind of roll out late. Kansas City not able to get a couple of conversions in a game where this might have been the best Xavier Worthy game that they've had in several weeks. And you kind of wondered, Kareem Hunt had his longest run of the season as well. The plays that Kansas City has had to win the game were there. It's just the defense that they can normally count on to shut out opponents. Couldn't get off the field in key moments.
Yeah, it's a good call on Worthy. They really built the game plan around him early, although he always has that one play, the Xavier Worthy, like, mental boner play. And that was he blew what would have been about a 40-yard catch on a nice throw by Mahomes, not getting his feet in bounds, which has happened so many times. But they still scored enough. I mean, they get a couple touchdowns there from Noah Gray. I thought it was really important, just looking at the next-gen stats, Nick, 37% pressure rate by the Bills, despite barely blitzing, which is that I think that's been the key to them. So it was Oliver, it was Rousseau, it was Miller, it was Epinesa, it was everyone. Meanwhile, for once, Spagnuolo didn't dial it up enough. They were blitzing plenty, but they weren't really getting to Allen. There were segments of this game where Allen was missing open receivers, like not seeing him, and I give Spagnuolo credit for that. So I think it was just a good game between two really good teams. But at the end of the game, like the winning play comes off a blitz. The touchdown to Samuel comes off a blitz. Let's actually listen to that.
Allen in the shotgun. Shakir in motion right to left. Here's the snap. Blitz coming. Allen has to throw it. Wide open. It's Samuel scampering to the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. Well, welcome to the end zone, Curtis Samuel. A 12-yard touchdown reception. His first as a Buffalo Bill.
Welcome to the 2024 season, Curtis Samuel. I was waiting for you. I've always believed in you. You arrive in Buffalo, and I think, wow, this is the place to unlock him. And he's been a net negative all season. They actually tried to get him going last week. I thought it was pointed. I thought they're thinking, we need this guy at some point, and they're feeding him targets early in that game against the Colts. It didn't really work, actually. They threw him the ball 8 times for 35 yards, but maybe it paid off a week later because he made a number of really good plays. Look, this isn't a devastating loss for the Chiefs. You're bound to lose eventually. They get to their bye, or rather the Bills get to the Chiefs get to their bye, and their schedule is still pretty favorable coming up. I'm not too worried. The Bills have a really interesting schedule coming up for just when you're thinking about potential MVP. They actually do have their bye, so they're going to feel good coming into it. And then they have the 49ers, at the Rams, and at the Lions. All these high leverage spots for everyone to kind of see Josh Allen on national TV. And if he can get through that well, then he's got 3 cupcakes to finish out the season, 2 Patriots games and a Jets game. So the Bills in good shape here. Let's listen to Josh Allen, trying to keep it in perspective, because, yes, this has been a rivalry. The Bills have actually won 4 straight games against the Chiefs in the regular season, but it's the playoff games that everyone remembers.
Means we got to 9 wins. I know it's from perception, outside perception, it's a really big game, and what it means for both fan bases and the league. We're in week 11. You know, we're 9-2. Last time I checked, 9 wins probably doesn't get you in the playoffs. So, you know, going into this bye week, you get to enjoy ourselves a little bit, but coming back ready, you know, a hungry team and just trying to go 1-0.
Yeah, he has been through this before. He knows how long this season is, how difficult it will be to slay the dragon. But this was a good start.